This show contains adult content. Folks, this is our 99th episode. This is almost our 100th episode of Crow's Prime. That doesn't count Harrison and Cooper, Firesides, anything. Just Crows. This is the 99th episode. We're very excited about episode 100. I cannot believe we made it here. So we're doing something special, a little celebration. On the 9th of December, 2020, we are going to do a live listen of our 100th episode on Discord. We're going to get as many of the Crows as we can there. We're thinking 7 p.m. Mountain Time on December 9th. Time is kind of up in the air, but get on Discord and we'll let you know. If you want to be a part of it, you can sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/soundslike_crows. Gain access to our Discord at the lowest tier, and you can come join us and get the episode a little bit early. We're going to have a Q&A afterwards, and we're going to try to record the thing and put it up on Patreon. I don't know if that's going to work, but we're going to try. So come hang out with us. I'm going to do little musical interludes in the middle of the episode, so we'll have some time to have people react, and then, like I said, we'll stick around after the show. Now, why is that on the 9th if that's early, Caleb? Does that mean there'll be no episode next week? Yeah, unfortunately. We will not be without content, though. The lovely, the wonderful Allie and Doug Nesbitt have graced us with a sort of shined, spit-polished episode 1 of their show Neon Heat, which I'm pretty sure we'll have next Monday. I've said many times that their first episode is a beautiful piece of actual play, so I'm excited to hear it sort of polished up and remastered, which I don't know what they could do to improve it, so I'm excited to hear that. And that will be posted next Monday, and then next Wednesday we'll be doing the live listen. No judgment will be given if you want to sign up for 1 month, get on board for the live listen, and then bounce out of the Discord. No harm, no foul. You want to come and stick your toes in? We'd love to have you, as many people as we can get. But why won't we have a Crows next Monday? Well, we have this episode and next episode recorded. We've been trying really hard for like 2 months. Both life and COVID, primarily COVID, have gotten in the way. And then now our county is going back into a lockdown where none of us can see each other. A commonly asked question I'd like to address is, can't you guys just do it remote? No. I understand that works for a lot of people, but we don't have like the equipment, like just computers, some of us, or even the recording space at some of our cast houses or homes to work with that. So we could get some Crows out that way, but I'm just not going to do that. It's not going to be as good, but we'll have more updates about that on our 100th episode, which will be 2 Mondays from now, on the 13th of December. But again, live listen of that episode 100, on the 9th of December, which is Wednesday, so 4 days early for patrons. Speaking of patrons, I'd like to thank this week Chase, Sarah Moore, and James Quinn, which, by the way, James Quinn did a remarkable amount of music on this episode, so look forward to that. And then you know him and you love him. Jonathan Turner, thank you. Aaron Blackston, thank you. Jared, thank you. Kyle Neese, thank you. Ariel Weiss, thanks. Suzanne Hagen, thank you so much. Greg Gray, thanks. Y'all are the best. With that out of the way, welcome back to the Weird West. You like the timber on that? I think that's a good timber.
Previously on Sounds Like Crows. The Crow Boys have crashed somewhere in Arizona. The boys have made away from the wreckage, camped in a nearby forest, and now we return to them the following morning, back on solid ground.
Who is doing the scouting in the morning?
I'll do it.
Make a survival roll.
It's a 5.
Harper, you returned to camp in the early morning hours. You spotted a town. You didn't see anybody moving in it, but obviously it was very early in the morning. But you spotted a town about 5 miles away.
Yeah, I think Harper kind of comes clomping out of the woods. He's got that rifle strung across his back. I assume everybody's stirring. I imagine he got up just a little bit early because he knew he was going to be off doing this. And he kind of walks up to the boys and kind of starts kicking dirt into the fire. Come on, boys. found a town. Let's get moving.
How far are you thinking?
Oh, it's just, I don't know, an hour or so.
Oh, no shit. We were an hour outside of town this whole time.
That's pretty fortunate.
Actually, that's pretty concerning that nobody came over here.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody out there,
Yeah.
but it was pretty early.
What'd you see?
Looked like a small town. Nothing to mention.
Better than what we got here.
Did you see any fires or movement?
Oh, I didn't see shit. It was 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I hope they have a doctor.
I'm with Lucky, though. If I saw an airship land in a fireball of explosions at night, think back to Silvertree. You saw that, you'd ride out.
Most people ain't as stupid as we are.
Leads me to believe this might be a ghost town,
Yeah.
but might give us some direction possibly. Maybe even some tracks we
Lucky.
can follow.
Yeah.
Hand me my pistol. I gotta.
You good to walk, Abel?
Sure.
I don't think so.
I'll let him up and try.
He stands up, swearing, cursing, groaning. Takes that shotgun off his leg and uses it like a little cane to push himself up to standing. Yep. I'm gonna be fine.
Spit an image of health right there, boys. Let's move.
Need some help, Abel?
Yeah. Kind of collapse, stumbles towards Lucky. And
Lucky with his monstrous D4 strength easily carries you.
The camera pulls up from some tan scrub brush as Lucky and Abel are following up the pack of the crows who are almost to this ghost town. It's the type of morning where you know that by noon it's going to be swelteringly hot. However, there is the good grace of a breeze blowing in from the east, cooling the air down significantly. Harper, as you sort of like trailblaze ahead of the group, and now that you're closer to the town, outside on the edge of it, there's almost like an outhouse building that's maybe like a little bit bigger and a little bit taller than an outhouse, with a door that's sort of like rattling against a loose latch in the wind. And you see a few fluttering newspapers caught in the wind high overhead as you approach the town.
Yeah, I think there's a shot kind of over his shoulder, and you can see the building like on the right side of the frame, and you can see those newspapers come flying out. And then he just walks towards it with his rifle in his hands, ready, and like takes an angle on that door so he can see into that. And I'm assuming it's empty, right?
Yeah, it's empty except for there's a large hook that's hanging from the ceiling of it, almost like something you'd find in the back of a butcher's shop for holding up a side of cattle, except hanging on it is a large bag of what appears to be mail and parcels. As you move the door open a little bit with grace, a single letter flutters free and flies past you in the wind.
I think he reaches up with his left arm and kind of rips it off of the hook, drops it onto the ground, and looks behind him into the town before he starts to go through it.
Yeah, you drop the loaded saddlebags full of mail and then walk into the town. Investigation is noticed now?
Yes.
Why don't you roll that for me?
That's a 5, Caleb.
It's random mail addressed to many different towns in Arizona, not just one town. Some names you recognize, some you don't. The piece of mail you can find that are post-dated is all pretty recent. It's all within the last month. Some is even from 4 days ago.
What kind of mail is that, Hart?
Recent.
No shit.
Yeah.
For us, don't it?
I don't know. Harper kind of stands up from the bag and starts looking through the town. Do I see any, just kind of standing on the outside where we're at, do I see any evidence of people going in? Do I see any open doors or?
There are some saloon doors that are swinging freely in the wind, open and closed. No evidence of people out and about. In fact, there's not even any tracks underneath your feet. There is a lot of dilapidated old buildings, all built with shitty board. All the paint has been sort of stripped away by the sun, and the only large building that's sort of different from a center street western town is a big ore processing center on the west side of town that has one of those conveyor belts that's coming all the way out of the building, and then it falls back down behind the buildings. Looks like an old mining town, perhaps, nestled in this pine forest.
We can see Harper's good eye. He's got a big bag underneath it. His eyes dark, like he hasn't slept in days, as he kind of looks throughout this town. Well, something ain't right.
You were a bounty hunter. They've been known to take mail?
No. Some of these are 4 days old and they ain't a single track over here.
What are you thinking?
I have no fucking idea. I don't know how this got here. And he kind of kicks the saddlebag.
Guess we better go investigate.
I'm sorry, boys. Let's just pick one and just take it. Just pick one of these buildings. We set up shop, sit for a minute, and then we move on. I don't know if I want to wander through this whole fucking place.
Yeah, no problem, buddy.
Let's just hit the saloon then. Maybe they got some liquor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I'm
would
with
be
you.
a good fit.
Yeah, I could use some more of that. As I'm kind of rifling through my satchel, finding mostly broken bottles at this point.
Lucky's gonna try and hand off Abel to you, Ellis, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, sure. I'll hoist him up.
Is there any, like, what looks to be food?
There's an old faded sign for a general store if you want to check that out instead of the saloon.
Yeah, I'll split up for a second.
We cut to Lucky opening up a door that's sort of pulled open by the wind, and you pull it shut behind you, I assume. Some of the glass has been broken, perhaps by the wind, on the paneled door. As you walk inside, we get a shot from the top where the door like tinks against the old bell, and a few flies that were stationed on it take off into the air. Lucky stops in his tracks as we get a shocked look on his face, and then we cut behind him and sort of like, you know, that comic book shot that's from behind the hero looking up at the UFO. And every square inch of the general store, including the shelves and the pillars that are holding up the second story, are covered in like a newspaper wallpaper. Every square inch has had like newspaper sort of plastered to the wall.
Fuck. That's not good. Is there like a general theme to these newspaper articles?
I guess make a notice roll.
Getting
Can you
awfully
read?
close. Getting awful close, Lucky. Can you read with those aviators on?
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
They're reading aviators.
They give him a +2.
Do I get a +2 from aviators? Indoors? 4.
With a 4, one thing you do spot as you're trying to like catch a common themes between these newspapers is you notice 2 cans of beans on the bottom shelf.
Cans of beans.
Yeah, it's comic.
Yeehaw!
Tasty food, man. We're pretty hungry.
You guys love beans, right?
Lucky then proceeds to just munch on both cans of beans.
Doesn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah. So I don't notice a theme. I literally just I start looking at these newspapers, and then
I get distracted by the beans.
I get distracted.
Most of the newspapers are from the Tombstone Epitaph. While I don't think, without spending a lot more time here, you can't like notice a theme between any of the articles because the epitaph is so all over the place in terms of what it's reporting. You do notice, however, that many of these newspapers are in chronological order. Some of them dated like 20 years ago.
Oh shit.
Everything is probably ranging within 2 years of each other in this building that you look at.
Okay. Well, he's gonna take the beans and go back.
We cut over to the saloon as Harper pushes the swinging doors in with your rifle, starting to clear the room. And your feet scuff against the ground, and you, like Lucky, notice the same thing. The floor covered in now brown newspaper, every inch of wall covered, except the old mirror behind the bar, which does have a few bottles of liquor behind it.
Excellent.
Tequila, whiskey, maybe a bottle of vodka.
Harper stops in the doorway and kind of looks through this room. He grabs a hold of like one of the swinging doors, just kind of like bracing himself, and then just steps out. Like he's not fucking with this.
What's wrong, Harper?
Just fucking look at it.
Ellis walks in.
Oh, yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah.
As you push through the door, a few flies buzz on your face, Ellis, as they often do for your rotting corpse. And you see some bottles of whiskey and see the same wallpaper.
Is there a closet or a door that anybody might be hiding behind in here, or just like doors that go to the back kitchen?
Yeah, make a notice roll. Yeah, there's definitely a door that goes to the kitchen.
Minus my wound penalty, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
2.
2. You don't hear anybody. You really just hear the wind and flies buzzing and rattling a newspaper.
I'm not necessarily looking for signs of a person. I think he's a little too out of it for that. He's just looking like, is there a closet that somebody could be hiding in, or like...
somebody could be in the back room. I think this is only one story.
Great.
I think Ellis puts you down, Abel, and I'm just going to head for those bottles.
As you set Abel down, he leans unsteadily against a table, and then he like holds up a kind of a shaky hand to pause Ellis for a second.
What's wrong?
Hold on. Just 1 second.
What do you guys have against newspaper?
Not the
Nothing.
newspaper. It's whoever the fuck would do some crazy shit like this.
Yeah, this is a lot
Exactly.
of detail.
Abel draws his pistol and aims towards the wall between him and the kitchen and fires an exploratory shot through the wall.
Cool.
Oh, there could be something in there, Abel.
The mirror behind the bar counter shatters and parts of it like crack down on the floor. We get a shot like looking straight on Abel as he cocks the pistol, and then as we fire, it shatters and we see the wood behind it.
Oh, you get one of those cool, like the bullet comes from behind the camera, so we see it traveling through the mirror. One of them impossible shots.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then it hits and shatters in slow-mo.
Yeah, that's dope. And it splinters through into the kitchen. The only thing that happens is a collection of flies buzz up as Ellis says, "Whoa, Abel." And then you look behind the counter, Ellis, to the broken glass, and you see like probably the source of the flies, which they are covering some kind of food stuff that's clearly been chopped up. There's like a knife on an old cutting board behind the bar top, sort of like cubed up, and like you can't even see it. It's just covered in hundreds of flies.
Well, and now we know. And Abel collapses into his seat. Ugh. I don't think there's anybody in here with us.
Well, if there are, they know we're here.
Lucky probably burst through the door with his gun out after hearing that shit.
Hey, you guys all right? Yeah, Abel just shot the mirror. That's all. I would too if I looked like that.
Hey, there's some creepy shit over in that general store. There's newspapers all. Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say, look around you.
Yeah.
Lucky you don't have to make a notice roll. Everything in here is the Washington Post and not the Tombstone Epitaph.
The general store, it was a different newspaper. The Epitaph, actually.
Wait, what?
It was the Epitaph. They stapled it all over the walls, and actually, our staples the thing. They
Sure.
pinned it all over the
No,
walls.
they probably had
pasted
like
it.
that fucking the
Paste.
whitewash
Glue.
paste stuff.
Yeah.
I got the paste.
It's all over. It's all over the walls.
Find anything useful in there?
I found some beans.
So we got some beans
Great.
and
Yeah.
3 bottles of liquor.
Let's just grab that and get the fuck out of here.
We should relax for a little bit.
What are you scared of, Harper? Just
I ain't fucking around with whatever this bullshit is.
Just keep watch. We'll cook food. Abel's got to eat, man.
Behind the bar here, there's looks like someone was chopping up some meat.
how old is it?
It's old, but they just left it here. Must have left in a hurry.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
You know what? Why don't we take a fucking load off? Harper walks in and drops his rifle on the table and takes a seat next to Abel. Kind of
Relax.
kicks his feet up.
Just let me get this booze. We'll leave. You don't got to throw a fit about it.
Well, he ain't had a better idea yet, so he can tag
Just
along.
check the building. If they're gone, they're gone. Who gives a fuck what they covered it in? At least it ain't guts.
We still got daylight burning. There's no doctor here.
And we should eat, though. Let's give Abel some strength, and then we'll get out of here. But we should eat first.
You want some of this meat to go with it?
I think you'll take care of that, I'm sure.
You can find an old wood-burning stove in the kitchen if anyone checks.
Oh, shit. We don't even have to eat cold beans?
Yeah,
Okay.
you could warm up the beans if
All
you
right,
want.
yeah.
You're eating your beans cold, dude. You're going to be cold beans. We don't got time for this.
Well,
We don't have the
depends on who
luxury.
you ask.
Abel beckons to Ellis.
Yeah.
You make sure this place don't have a cellar, and then just check the other buildings.
I'll tell you what, you
Something's
guys,
weird here, but this is the work of a man.
you boys enjoy your beans. I'll take a look around. How's that sound?
Oh, yeah, forget you don't eat these anymore, all right?
That's right.
Try some of that meat.
Thaddeus, where is your paranoid ass at?
Well, he noticed that the mirror was the only thing not covered in newspaper, and now it's broken. He's kind of curious about it. So I think he's been investigating this front room a little bit. Like, they're cooking up the beans anyway, so he's just kind of nosing around and trying to piece together what might have happened here. I think he checks out the meat. You said it's like cubed? Is it wrapped or is it out just like...
Oh, it's just out.
It
Also,
can't be that old, right?
I'm sorry, this is also a tangent, but how does Lucky feel about Abel shooting a mirror?
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
dude. That was the first thing I thought. I
Dude.
was like, well, that's 7 years right there, man.
Boy, I guess I didn't put that together. I don't know. You probably didn't even notice it right then and there. Not yet.
He'll find out when he dies.
Yeah, fucking for real.
Yeah, do you want to know anything? Or you?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of curious if there's any sort of story or something that I might have heard that sounded similar to an occurrence like this, or any sort of, maybe occulty theme to some of the documents that are here.
Don't you have a specific skill? Like
Hunch.
what is
Punch
it?
that meat.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Punch that meat.
Something like Is it a cult?
think-
you got a cult rolls maybe.
I think I want to hunch the mirror though, Caleb. That sounds cool.
Sure, you could hunch the mirror.
That's a good hunch.
Looks nice,
Piece
right?
of the mirror, yeah.
It was the only thing not covered
What
in
about
paper.
the cleaver? That would be a cool huncher.
So, I mean, I could hunch them
Why don't
both,
you-
right?
Why don't you hunch the flies?
Whoa, Thaddeus, don't touch that mirror.
He's hunching the
Get
glass.
bad luck.
He's gonna hunch that mirror because he's been in. This is behind the bar, right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, he comes over there and he's again sort of stroking his beard and curiously inspecting the mirror. Does it have any sort of like interesting border, bevels, or frame?
Yeah, it's got like a faux silver border.
He'll grab maybe the biggest chunk of frame and broken mirror piece, and I think he's gonna look into it and sort of hold his hand up as he's sort of like looking at it, and then we see his trusty ace of spades in the reflection of the mirror as he casts hunch.
We see the old mirror in a tent, pillars of wood.
Hey, Caleb, wait.
Oh, you got to roll dice.
I gotta make that
Right,
spell
right,
cast.
right.
I mean, if you want to give it to me for free,
No,
that's
no,
nice and all.
No.
How many more points you got? Oh, you slept.
Yeah, it's been like a day. Well, it's just a 5,
What about your fatigue?
so it's a 3.
Ah,
So I'm gonna go ahead and Benny it
Okay.
and re-roll.
Come on, dude. Can't fail this.
He can, though. He can definitely fail it.
Last Benny?
What is that other one? Is that Snake Eyes?
You know what it is? I bet your face is starting to swell up a little bit from getting punched so
Yeah.
hard. And it's really hard to use hunch if you can't see
It
anything.
sure is. Listen, if Lucky and I didn't get a Benny from our scene earlier, I can't say. I gotta save this for
Oh,
a
yeah,
soak.
I fucked up.
I gotta save this for a soak. No,
You don't feel any arcane energy in the mirror, but you could try something else for more power points.
Hey, Thaddeus, leave that mirror alone. Go touch something else if you're gonna do that shit.
what do you mean?
You know, bad luck.
Really? You mean like the 7 years?
Yeah,
thing?
really. As Lucky pours a very generous portion of whiskey into the beans.
So it's like cereal for beans and whiskey.
It's a little pseudo
It's a
seasoning.
family recipe.
Yeah,
my
when you're a
God.
cowboy.
If you're a cowboy, you gotta make that shit
Oh,
work.
that sounds awful.
It's Ma's
man.
special beans is what it's called.
What do you eat, Ma? My special beans. Fuck off.
It's Ma's forget-me-nots.
Don't talk to her when she's eating her beans.
And I think when he puts that bottle down, Harper picks it up and just starts fucking chugging it right out of the bottle. And then I
Cool.
think it cuts back over to Thaddeus.
You think we need more bad luck? Come on, Thaddeus.
I mean, what worse could happen
Just leave
at
it
this
alone.
point?
Just leave it alone.
We crashed out of the fucking sky yesterday, And look, Abel shot this anyway, so if the bad luck's going to
Abel better
anybody,
not have shot this.
I certainly did.
God, you stupid bastards. You know what you guys did?
7 years of bad luck.
I mean, he wasted the one thing that's not completely covered in
Just
here.
get away from it, all right? Just
All
get away
right,
from
all
it.
right,
Just
all
get
right.
away from it.
What's going on with that meat?
Ellis, what's your plan of attack here?
I'm gonna.
He's gonna punch these buildings down.
Yeah, he's gonna start punching.
He's gonna
hard.
one punch
You can
every
start
building.
ghosting through all the
Ghost.
buildings.
My choices are ghost. But if I find someone, they're gonna probably flip out or just walk around, opening doors, or stealthing around and look through windows. I think I'm going for a little bit of stealth. I'm gonna peep in some windows.
Great.
Like Ellis always does.
Sounds
He's
good.
good at it.
I mean, even if they see you normally, they're still gonna be scared, right?
Ooh.
Snake eyes?
Snake eyes?
Snake eyes. What happens?
Either a sign or a door falls off, I think.
Yeah, I'm like trying to open up a window or something to peek in there.
Like
And it
you,
just fall. The
There's some
entire
curtains.
windowsill falls out and
you're so
smashes.
strong, maybe. You're so strong that you're going up to a window, but it's just covered in like dust. So you grab it and you're trying to get it unstuck by pushing it up. And like you're pushing so hard that eventually you just slam it into the top. And then we get a wide shot of the building as the huge front sign just like, and then cracks onto the ground.
I do this on a professional level, by the way.
No, yeah. What was it your fault? It was a windy day. It's a windy day.
Oh, it was
so
your fault.
that coupled with the gunshot, if somebody's here, they probably know you're coming, but whatever.
Yeah, probably with the gunshot.
Is this the first building you've looked in?
I've probably looked at a couple.
Every single one of the buildings has been covered in newspapers on the inside. This is the first building where you open it up and instead it is covered in what appears to be handwritten notes or maybe letters.
Well, that's interesting.
You don't look like the normal delivery man.
Is that a person in there?
No, I'm over here.
And the old guy stumbles out from, walks around from the side of the building.
Was that you shooting a second ago?
No, that was my brother. We didn't know there was anybody in this town.
No, that's understandable, I guess.
He's an old ass dude. He's probably 85, wrinkled skin, white hair pulled back into a ponytail that's like down to his waist. No hat. He's got like a kindly face, simple white shirt button up, and then like cut off shorts.
Can I reach any of these notes in here from the window?
Yeah, you could grab one.
So I'm kind of reaching in to grab one as I pick it up. So, what's going on here anyways? What's with all the newspapers?
No one's been here in a long time. Just keeping myself busy, I guess.
He smiles.
What's with all the letters? My brother found a bag of letters. Recent ones.
Oh, that's fair. I'm a mailman of sorts.
Of sorts?
I get paid a stipend and I stay. I'm sorry, who are you?
The name's Ellis Crow. What's your name?
Oh, Crow.
Yeah, that's right.
You know Lucky? Crow, maybe?
Yeah, that's one of my brothers.
Oh, no shit. Well, welcome. Welcome to Lilac.
Oh, how do you know Lucky?
I read a lot.
And?
Oh, he's been featured in the Epitaph a few times now, and
You can't be serious right now.
a lot of the penny cereals have started to talk about him as well.
So let me get this straight. You're just kind of hanging out in this ghost town, reading people's letters, and pasting newspaper all over the walls? What's this note say that I've got?
Hey, I'm sending money back as soon as I can.
Oh, okay. Some fucking letters.
Yeah.
I kind of hold that up. If the answer is yes, I'm not going to judge you.
It used to be a town here, and the mine dried up, and well, we're kind of a central location for mail of sorts, so I just say stay assorted and...
And hope that someone stumbles upon it in this town?
No, they pick it up. I talk to the
Gotcha.
delivery men every few weeks or so.
Gotcha. Well, what do you say we go say hi to my brother? Maybe you can show him one of these epitaph articles. I think the shot is just the boys eating beans, and Ellis opens the saloon doors a little, and he's like,
Before we do that, sorry.
Oh.
Do you want to do a hunch?
Yeah, Thaddeus is still
yeah,
pretty
definitely.
curious around here. Like these newspapers, if he can read through some of them and maybe have like another notice roll or something too. So yeah, he had no luck with the mirror. The only other thing not covered in fucking newspaper was that cleaver. There's some meat in here. That's the only meat he's seen around town.
You're touching the cleaver?
He's gonna put hands on the cleaver. He's gonna pick it up and test its weight. It's like stuck into it, or is it laying flat?
It's stuck into it.
He'll grab a hold of it and sort of check its weight and try to do a funny flip with it. So he's kind of bored and weird with shit.
Okay.
Sure.
Thanks for justifying
What
that.
a character. Wow. What a character.
Good character moment there.
He's just,
He's just weird.
Just kind of a weird guy.
strange fucking dude.
he gives it a toss.
Whatever, dude. It's your character.
And he drops it while he's trying to cast his magic, so he casts
sure
it on
does.
the air.
oh no.
There's a weird energy in here, Thaddeus. It's a weird energy.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah, that's not good at
I
all.
don't know.
That's not good.
That's what they say when psychics can't do shit.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, yeah.
Do you want to just roll a notice on the newspapers?
Yeah.
Can you cast hunch on one of these old chunks of meat?
You could do that. Yeah, if you want to spend more power
Spend more
points.
power points.
He's just walking around, just putting his hands on stuff.
Well, nothing there.
And he just kind
Let's
of
try this.
I mean, guys, right? You're trying to give him every
Tossing it,
chance,
being
but Marshall
weird.
can't make these rolls.
Come on,
But I mean,
Marshall.
The meat is so recent. I will give you a +1 for your hunch roll if you want to spend up power.
The ever
points.
merciful Caleb.
Yeah, he's begging you. He needs you to do this shit. Your exposition.
No, I forgot that he had hunch, like always.
Well, it's object reading now, and so it's 2 spell points, so I'm up to 6. I don't really need like the auditory history or anything like that. But
I just want to know if this is
Read
human
that
meat.
meat.
That's all we want to know.
read that meat.
I'm gonna read that meat.
You're gonna read that meat.
I can't believe you're about to just touch this gross ass fly-ridden rotten meat.
No, he didn't.
Like snake eyes?
No.
What kind of meat
Snake
is that?
eyes?
That's on my notice. That's a 1, and my wild die. That's a 1.
I thought you were doing hunch.
No, he's just
No, I was
noticing.
doing the notice they had for that first roll. I could do a hunch on the meat too.
I literally am in shock. I don't know what to do. You get nothing. You just get nothing.
So Ellis appears at the.
Yeah. Glad we spent the time. All right, Ellis, do the lead in again.
So all these boys are sitting around these tables eating their beans, drinking their whiskey
At the same
and bean
time.
combinations,
Yeah.
whatever.
Mama's beans.
Mama's
Mama's
beans.
beans.
Mama's famous beans.
Mama's forget-me-nots.
What did you call it? Forget me not.
Forget-me-nots. Forget-me-nots.
And I think the saloon doors just open up. Well, boys, I found something.
Lucky Crow.
He's an old man.
It's not the descriptor I would use, but I
I meant no
suppose.
offense.
No, yeah, it's accurate, I suppose. But he said, Lucky Crow. Is that you?
Lucky Cooley puts his legs up on the table. I noticed you're a fan.
Well, kind of. Yeah, I know quite a bit about you.
Harper irritatedly removes his legs from the table and kind of slams down his chair, glaring at this guy.
Thaddeus slowly rises from behind the bar where he dropped some of that meat he was messing with. And he just starts gives a hairy eye to this old man.
Tell him what you told me about the newspapers.
I'm a collector.
No, about him being in the newspapers.
Oh, well, certainly you're quite famous in the newspapers these days. They had one article. What are you talking about?
There were 2 articles in the Tombstone Epitaph. The New Yorker ran one, and then he's had a few serializations, and including a Go with Buffalo Bill in one of them.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You're going to have to give me a copy of these.
Good luck finding him.
Certainly, yeah, I can do that.
You hear that, fellas?
This man right here?
I told you I was famous.
Blue vest, lady
vest.
at his side,
Bingo.
southpaw.
That's him.
Lucky kind of tips down the aviators and gives them a wink.
Oh, the aviators are new.
Aviators. He knows what they're called.
Now, hang on. Hang on.
The aviators.
He
I
kind
like
of
that
looks
name.
upset that he didn't know about the aviators. He's kind of had this kindly smile on his face, and then it sours when he sees those.
Thaddeus is dumbfounded. He's looking to anybody to see if they are you seeing this? Is this real?
Hang on. Are you the one that's been putting these papers up in all the buildings?
You got me.
He's opening people's letters, too.
You must be Abel.
Why?
It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Honor.
Abel just pauses. The boys, knowing him a little bit better, see that slow drift of a hand towards the shotgun on one of his hips. What did you say your name was?
We hear a chuckle from behind the bar, slowly rise in volume as Thaddeus is quite entertained with this old man's ignorance of good old Abel's current status.
The last people that lived here called me Old Jackson, Your Honor.
Lucky kind of places a hand on Abel's shoulder to hopefully cool him down a little bit.
Well, old Jackson, you happen to be a doctor?
I'm afraid not.
You happen to know of any doctors?
Certainly there's some in some nearby towns we could ride to.
All right. You got a horse?
Because we don't.
I do not.
Well, I guess we won't be doing much riding then, will we?
How far are we talking here?
Well, Flagstaff's about 20 miles.
Flagstaff.
It's probably the nearest town that would have a doctor on site. Everything else would mostly be traveling folks. I do know the doctor there. He's a good man. We are correspondents.
Yeah. Okay.
Why don't you just point us towards Flagstaff and we'll be out of your hair?
He looks a little disappointed.
Certainly I can do that. I would be honored if you'd let me cook something for you and maybe put you up for the night.
I think
You
we're
the
all
one
right.
that cooked that?
Our brother's pretty hurt. We gotta get to this doctor as soon as possible.
He nods. Abel, did you point to the meat behind the counter? Or what?
exactly.
His face kind of goes stony for a minute.
It's not cooked. I just, I'd prefer not to talk about that if it's all the same to you, Your Honor.
I'd prefer if you did.
This sounds like an intimidation roll.
It certainly does.
Probably a -1 from his general disposition.
Yeah, he's literally surrounded by 5 people with guns.
I am ugly and have a reputation.
Yeah, so just -1.
All right, let's see. That's a 4 and a 3 minus 1. That's a 3 and a 2.
Well, Your Honor, you are my guests here in Lilac. I would be happy to answer your questions, but I'd certainly like to get to know you a little bit better first and judge your character. I only know about you based upon the writings I have read.
Is this your property? He motions around to the building they're in.
It has been charged to me, yes, sir.
By who?
I guess now by the newly founded country of Arizona.
Harper looks over, kind of irritated at Abel.
I think at this point, Abel's trying to run through the way he would normally approach this, and his mental fatigue is not supporting it. This is too much for him to handle on top of everything else. And lucky that hand you have on his shoulder, you can feel Abel just kind of relax and lean back into the seat and give a little shrug. He's given up on this one.
All right, boys. I think this is just a lonely old man looking for some company. What do you say we let him come with us? What could hurt?
Wait, hold on. Did I mishear? Did he say country of Arizona?
He smiles as he like swats a fly trying to land on his eyebrow.
Ellis just kind of motions to all the newspaper on the floor. Like, are you seriously questioning this? He's obviously crazy.
You point at it. That doesn't mean I'm excusing this, Ellis. I mean, what the fuck is going on?
Man, it's just an old man.
We gotta get Abel to a doctor. All in favor of taking him with us? Aye.
You want to take him with us? Why don't we just leave?
I'd take the old man over Abel, honestly, so I guess whatever y'all want to do.
He doesn't need to escort us. Just point us in the direction
He
we'll
knows
head
a
up.
doctor. Can you keep up?
No, we'll just keep his name.
Oh, I would happily come with you.
Of course you would.
You got any water?
Certainly. Quite a collection.
Any more booze?
Certainly as well.
How much? And how much for these 3 bottles? I took them from the bar.
Those are yours, Ellis. No problem.
You sure?
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Now, I am not a doctor, and could I at least look at your wounds? I have read a few medical textbooks.
No.
He puts his hands up.
I understand. I understand. It is going to be quite a journey on foot, though, and without horses. We could wait until the next rider comes through, and perhaps they let you borrow their pony for a ride.
How often does that happen?
Maximum once a week. There was a delivery this morning, so I'm not sure when the next rider will come through.
See, my brother got stabbed through the stomach with a sword. I don't know if that's going to be an option.
There you go.
Correct me.
Well, a 20-mile walk isn't exactly an option either, is it, Mr. Crow?
I'll carry him.
Or just have one of you boys light out. Get to Flagstaff. Bring him on back. I can't make that walk for sure.
Maybe there's a wagon or something we can use. You said this is a mine town. I mean, I don't know if it's flat ground all the way through, but
His eyes light up.
There is an old machine we could try to fix up and repair.
well, see, there you go.
It's one of them Ghost Rock powered wagons.
Well,
Don't need no damn wagon. We just need a sled.
it's worth checking out. Maybe
Man, hell, if we're going to stay here a little bit.
I prefer not, but
So it's 20 miles. Sorry, out of character. 20 miles. Average walking speed is like 3 miles per hour with an old man in tow and Abel.
Out of character, that's where I'm going of like, just if one of us heads to town, you could get there in a day, ride back. We're split for a little bit, which sucks. But I think if you took me, it's going to, there's no way reasonably, I think Caleb would let me walk more than 8 hours a day. It feels like 3 or 4 days for me to get it.
Yeah,
get
I would
there.
probably ask for vigor rolls, like probably just from Abel. Like regardless of if he's being carried or not. If he's being carried, his wounds getting jostled. If he's not getting
Yeah.
carried, his wounds
That's
getting
true.
yeah,
jostled.
that's what
true.
I mentioned. But 20 miles is not that far.
20 miles there and back.
Sure, but if we get there and then we get a horse back,
All right, who's going then? Because I can't ride a horse very easily, and I'm not going to be able to talk to people very easily.
I mean, me and Harper can definitely ride horses. Thaddeus is out of the question,
So
obviously.
yeah, I can't ride a horse.
Obviously.
But Thaddeus definitely wouldn't want to stay here. He's not
Yeah.
gonna go get a doctor though.
But you're also not going to fucking want to stay alone with Abel.
Ellis will handle the two of us if we get in a fight, and he'll handle anything else if they try to kill us.
All right, so me and Harper going.
Yeah, splitting the party. Let's do it.
Cool.
Okay, I guess metal-wise, is that something we actually want to do?
I don't think it'll be that big of a deal because, like, maybe something will happen to you guys on the way. Maybe something will happen here while you're gone. It'll be like one little, it's not going to be like a whole season.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Cut to prison. Ellis, as your brothers discuss the problem of Abel, you get a whiff of something for the first time since you died. You get the sweet, rotting smell of some kind of meat hitting your nostrils.
I can smell the meat.
two people try to answer you at the same time. I got to do both of them.
Oh, yeah, sorry. about
Baby,
that.
you
I
can
just-
smell. When did that happen?
Just now. It smells good.
Abel gives Ellis a quizzical, disbelieving stare.
He chuckles,
The flies sure seem to like it.
and Wei Chuge says, "Oh, baby, I'm glad we're on the same page finally."
I kind of feel like eating some. Out of hunger, but
We got beans if you're hungry.
Yeah.
Well, baby, you've been cutting loose. I'm not surprised that Lady Famine wouldn't send you a little gift to go along with it.
hey, what kind of meat is that?
Make a persuasion roll.
Oh, come on.
You're great at those.
No, I'm not.
That's because
I'm
it's
gonna
You
human.
know what
Intimidation.
kind of meat it is.
No negatives. He's not affected by the smell. He's got his old man nostrils.
Maybe he's just a
I
cannibal.
mean, that's a 6. Blew up, so
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you're looking at an 11.
It smells good to you. It's it's horse meat.
All right.
We can grab some fresher stuff if you'd like.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Harper kind of leans forward on the table, rubbing his eye. He just looks exhausted. He's sick of this bullshit. Whatever this is, he's not expecting it to be good, and he kind of stands up.
With insight beyond even his years, the old man says,
I can tell that y'all are maybe not in the right mind to speak with me right now, so I'll take you to the horses, Ellis, and if you boys want to stay the night, I'd be mighty glad to put you up, and I'll rummage up a textbook. Let's go.
You said to the horses? I thought there were no horses.
None you can ride.
Well, we gotta kill a horse.
No, Ellis, it's already dead.
Who's dropping off dead horses here?
I made a deal with the passerby. If you want horse meat, just come with me. We'll get you some.
All right, well, what are you boys doing? What's the plan?
Well, I'm sure as fuck not eating a horse right now.
I guess I'm gonna look around for somewhere soft to lay my head before staying here.
We gotta get Abel some help.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm on it. Harp, you
Yeah.
want in?
20 miles, that ain't gonna take us too long.
Maybe we should check out that car. You want to just head out?
Hell no.
All right. Your call, buddy.
Yeah, there's been enough Ghost Rock shenanigans for all of us.
That's fair enough.
What road does the mailman take? Maybe they can take that route, and with any luck, maybe they'll run into him or someone else.
Yeah, if you look on the east side of town, you should be able to pick up the horse tracks if you're as good as they say, Daisy.
Harper looks irritated and glances over at him.
That guy could spot a pebble 20 meters down.
I believe it.
You know, there's something that's been irritating me this whole time. How is it that you know all our names, old man?
Well, you told us earlier the epitaph, buddy.
Are we all in there?
I weren't in no damn epitaph,
Well,
and nobody was calling me Daisy in some fucking bullshit newspaper article.
Abel looks meaningfully over at Lucky.
You're a bounty hunter of some renown, Harper. I keep correspondence with dozens of pen pals across the states, and, well, I just happen to know your name. I know a lot of people, even if they don't know me.
we've been through a lot, so it's understandable that we aren't exactly the most trusting of sorts.
Your reputation precedes you in that aspect, certainly. I've no desire to fight with you on it. If you'd like me to stop referring to you so familiarly, I'd be happy to do that, Mr. Crow.
and he nods to Harper.
I think Harper just looks exhausted. He looks over at Thaddeus and Abel and Ellis. Nobody reacting, nobody else concerned.
No, Thaddeus looks
Yeah,
very
but don't say
baffled by
that. Come on.
everything.
Nobody else gives a shit. Yeah, no, I don't know. So what does he see when he looks over at his brothers then?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, Thaddeus' eyebrows are probably twitching just from the amount of muscle exertion he's had on just like blown back by everything this old man has been saying. None of it adds up. It's all weird, but he's not in really a great position to do much about it. So he mostly looks kind of aimless, and he keeps looking out the window like he's searching for something out there to, who knows.
I think your comment about no one calling you Daisy in the newspaper definitely hit home with Ellis. He definitely sees this situation as being dangerous, potentially, and something weird going on. But at the same time, I want Abel to get help. And at this point, I think Ellis thinks that he can handle anything that this old man can throw at him, supernatural or otherwise. He kind of looks to the ground for a little bit thinking, and he looks up to you, Harper. Harper, we can handle it here. And he kind of looks to the old man. You and Lucky should
Go get help.
There's a kind of a moment of pause, and then Harper just kind of shrugs and turns. Have fun with Mr. Horsemeat. And he just walks out the door.
And then Lucky follows, spinning Lady in his fingers.
Thank you so much for listening to our show. If you want to be a part of the live listen of our 100th episode with the following Q&A on December 9th, go to patreon.com/Sounds Like Crows. Join us at any tier level. And come say hi and hang out with us during this episode. It'll be a good one. Music on the show was written and performed either by Rudy Zuniga, Levi Rojas, myself, or James Quinn. Bunch of new stuff from James this episode. Thanks, James. Savage Worlds and Deadlands The Weird West are owned by the Pinnacle Entertainment Group, who you can find at peginc.com. You can find our show at Sounds of Crows on Twitter or at soundslikecrows.com, or you can email us at soundslikecrows@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter at Marshall Caleb. I'm Caleb Sunstead. My brother Isaac Sunstead is on Twitter at Abel the Crow. Alex, who plays Ellis, is on Twitter at Alex Horrell. Marshall, who played Thaddeus, is on Twitter at Mr. Malicious1. Cameron Reed is on Twitter at CJReed211. Cameron Day played Luciano Lucky Crow. The mailman was played by yours truly. I know, you thought I was another actor or something, didn't you? What a unique voice I did. I don't think that's going to make the cut. Okay, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Come back next Monday for an episode of Neon Heat, their first episode. It was very good. Hope I didn't forget anyone. Okay, goodbye. We will see you next Monday.